Welcome to Godspeed, where truth meets life in under 10 minutes. I'm AK, and this is Hope for your journey. Have you ever stumbled upon something of such great value that you thought the store employee made a mistake or the person running the garage sale had no idea what they were sitting on? You know that feeling. The rush of realizing you're holding on to something worth far more than what you're going to pay for it. But what if that feeling isn't just in shopping? What if it's available for your life as a whole? So Jesus is speaking to his friends, his closest confidants, students that had left everything to follow him. And he's trying to help them understand exactly what they're giving their lives to and if it's worth it. He does this the way he often did with a parable, a fictional story that's used to emphasize and highlight a very real point. These stories come from Matthew 13, verses 44 through 46. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure that a man discovered hidden in a field. In his excitement, he hid it again and sold everything he owned to get enough money to buy the field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant on the lookout for choice pearls. When he discovered a pearl of great value, he sold everything he owned and bought it. Every single one of us, whether we're doing it intentionally or not, is looking for something worth building a life upon. And it's not really if you'll find it. It's if you'll recognize it when you do, and then what you're willing to do about it. So the first question I want to ask you is, what are you looking for? If you notice something about the two men in these stories, the first one was working in a field and he comes across a treasure. He wasn't even specifically searching for it. The second was a merchant. Searching for value was his literal job. He spent his life cultivating an eye for pearls. One finds their treasure by accident. One finds it on purpose. But what they have in common is the moment each of them recognized what they were holding, they didn't hesitate to sacrifice everything for the better thing. So what is Jesus really asking us through these stories? He's saying, when you find something of value, how will you respond? Because I think many of us can see value. We know a good thing when we see it. The harder question is whether we'll act on it, if we'll sacrifice where we are or what we have or what we do. And I don't want to mislead or be misunderstood. And I'm not going to slide past this part. Jesus doesn't say the kingdom of heaven is like finding your purpose or finally feeling fulfilled or living your daydream, imaginary, perfect life. He's not talking about a feeling. He's actually talking about something gained through a relationship with him. He's the one worth the whole savings account. He's the one worth sacrificing all else, every other good thing. So his disciples might have been searching for many things, many hopes, many joys, including ones I'll tell you about. But the only thing that makes it worth anything is the one it all points back to. So let's talk about letting go to hold on. Here's what the parable makes plain for all of us. Both men sold everything. Not a few things, not the things they didn't want anymore, could choose to spare. Everything. And that's often a part we don't want to talk about when we find something great. We enjoy the thrill of discovery or finding a passion, but we don't always love the cost. Yet life has taught me that grabbing hold of something great will always require letting go of something. And often it demands that you let go of everything, even the things you've built your identity around up to that point, even the things that had been your comfort or your calling card up to that point. I had this play out in my own life, and it started somewhere small. Now, you wouldn't guess this about me, but I enjoy thrift shopping. I enjoy going and looking for things on sale. And it's not out of necessity, it's out of the hunt for value. Clothes, sneakers, watches, books. I started in high school, and now after years of doing it, I can often eyeball something and know its worth. There have been a handful of times I've found things so good that I left the store after buying just one item. Not because I was done shopping and had seen everything, but because I already knew nothing else in the building was going to top what I had just found. I spent a lot of time doing that same kind of searching in my own life, trying to figure out what in me was actually valuable. I liked a lot of things. I was decent at several, but then there was this one that eclipsed everything else, and I found it in a place I wasn't even expecting. I was in South Africa on tour with a group of friends, and I found myself on a stage speaking to a group of students, telling them the gospel, which translates to good news of how valuable they were and that their lives mattered, that their worth could never be reduced to a dollar figure or achievement or a job title. It was simply immeasurably good. And that was the moment I recognized anything else I was holding was not as valuable as this. The gift of an encouraging voice. And once I saw it clearly, once people told me they heard it from me, I knew I would have to let go of anything else competing for the same space in my life, to go all in on this gift. So now, whether it's this podcast or a conversation with one person who needs to hear that they matter, it's the thing I have sacrificed all else for. Here's what recognizing something of great value does to you. It doesn't ask you to give something up as a punishment. It makes you reevaluate what you're holding on to, so that what you're releasing stops feeling like loss, and instead the beginning step to something better. And to be honest, my gift isn't the treasure. It was something I'd found once I'd already given my life to the one who was. The voice, the stages, the words, the stories, none of that is what I sold everything for. Jesus is. The gift just turned out to be part of what was waiting for me on the other side of that decision. And finally, I want to leave an invitation for you. An invitation to a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to fully live, to not just manage your days or survive the worst of them, but to embrace all of it, even the parts that cost something. That could mean pursuing the thing that actually matters to you, even if it looks strange to the people watching, your parents, your siblings, your friends. It might mean getting rid of a good career, a comfortable routine, a great salary, a version of yourself that used to work but simply doesn't fit anymore. It will definitely mean somebody questioning why you're giving up what you have for something they can't see the value in yet. Let them question it. That man in the field didn't need the whole village to understand why he bought this one piece of land. He'd already seen the value of what was buried in it. You don't need everyone to understand your treasure either. You simply need to accept the invitation to go after him. God, thank you for giving us things worth living for giving us you. Open our hands that we may learn to let go in order to fully receive your presence. the gift of you. Amen.
I will always love you how I do. Let go of a prayer for you, just a sweet word